Hello there. Hi, it's me, Hazer. And yeah, just thought I'd record a little video of me talking about the old rival situation that's come out recently. Why am I wearing headphones? I don't have anything on in the background. Maybe I should. Maybe I should have some tunes on. But either way, old rival. So. Just getting straight into it. If you don't know what havering means, I'll put something in the description or something. I don't know. I should really figure out if I'm doing this havering thing, if I'm not. Basically, it's a haver. It's a Scottish word meaning to talk nonsense, to talk rubbish. And yeah, that's kind of what these videos are. Just me kind of turning on the camera, speaking into a mic about something without much prep and just giving it a go. Anyway, old rival. If you haven't heard, if you haven't seen what's come out recently, basically Wolfie and I believe Deathwalker as well confirmed on their streams that they submitted a roster to be in the SPL. It was basically the old rival core. You've got your Wolfie, Kalas, Ice, and Deathwalker alongside Emily2 replacing Vote in the ADC role. And I think they had Alpha Jackal in there as coach as well. I believe they submitted him in there. And yeah, they have basically come out and said that they were declined. They haven't made it into the SPL, and I just wanted to do a little bit talking about why that might have been, and kind of explain to people who, you know, there's a lot of questions around it. There's a lot of people unhappy. Obviously, everybody loved Old Rival, especially us Europeans. I was on the roster for a while when there was Cyclone GG, so I have a special love for those guys as well. And what they achieved in the scene was nuts in their 2.5 years or whatever, competing together. So just wanted to do a little video about kind of trying to show why I think they might not have been accepted and how it's come about. Yeah, so the roster, as I said, ML ADC, Kalas support, Wolfie mid, Ice jungle, Deathwalker solo. Deathwalker been back for a little while under the name Streamline, playing in ranked and stuff like that, after taking a bit of a break. Right, let's go straight to this. I pulled this up earlier. Let's see if I can do this without messing up. Okay, that's good. This is from the Smite Pro League Season 8 organizational update. And this is the How Will High Res Select Teams section of that is what I want to focus on here. For Season 8, High Res users will accept team applications, blah, 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 blah. Basically, High Res are now deciding which teams are going to be in the league, with the orgs no longer being there. And here is kind of the key paragraph that you've got to say, or the key line even, that you've got to say will have affected Old Rival. The most heavy preference will be given to rosters composed of current and former SPL players or top players from the SCC. Okay, so you've got to say current and former SPL players. This team obviously is made up of that. But it does seem to indicate current SPL players maybe being important, or top players from the SCC as in recent performance. I think there was a further article as well somewhere. I wish I had it. I wish I'd thought of bringing that up before. But there's a further article that I think said they will be looking at recent performances at all levels. I think was specifically called out by Hi-Res, saying they were going to look at performances by teams at all levels. And we're going to talk about that here. Recent performances by these players and where they played in the EU SCC. All four of these. Wolfie obviously was on that Obey roster. That was the solid 8th place team in the SPL. Not Wolfie's fault, in my opinion. I think Wolfie had a pretty good year, but I don't know if you can. I don't know how you work that into your calculations. You can't really say individual player X was playing well, so he's worth more points than individual player Y on the same team. Maybe you can. I don't know. I don't know how on earth they made a fair decision system here, but I mean it's a job nobody really wants to have, and I'm not here to criticize it, just to kind of explain why I think this roster's ended up not making it. Anyway, let's have a look at Deathwalker's profile here, looking gorgeous in this little picture here. Here's what happened with Freshly Forged. Jesus, I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, with Freshly Forged, the team which Death played on most recently. He was on Knights before that, obviously, in the Season 6 SPL. And then, I mean, we could talk about Season 6 SPL as well. You had Deathwalker on Knights. You had Kalas and... Were Kalas, ML, and They were both on United, and Ice was on a United as well. So there you go. Neither of those two SPL teams had a great time, but I don't know, Knight's extenuating circumstances, obviously. But then you look further back and you see that these, obviously, team rival, previous 2 seasons, got to the final of Worlds, which is, 3 of these players, and you have Emil, well, 4 of the players, even if we're including Wolfie, and you have Emil, who's a 2-time world champion. So, their historical results speak for themselves. But recent results, I think, from my outside looking in, it's hard to say. I mean, we saw Deathwalker retire after it, so he obviously wasn't having a great time with the game, but I felt like Death, Kalas, and Ice weren't having a great time when they were playing in the SCC with this freshly forged roster. Originally, they had Fails in Prime, I think, when they qualified, and then they had Mr. Crunchy, Ice, Deathwalker, Okeanos, and Kalas. So we got 3 of the guys we're looking at here. Death, Ice, and Kalas were on this team. They finished 5th, which was second bottom of the EU SCC, and then they got relegated out of the league, and that's when Death decided to step down. I'm not sure. I don't think Kalas did anything after that either, so he was in the same spot. Basically the same thing as Death, except he had this United period before. And Ice, he stepped in to... I know he was offered some SCC spots in the jungle. Ended up playing with myself, actually, on Warm Snails. We did okay. We finished 2nd in the SOC after Prime's team. Prime and some other players. Forest Coast and stuff like that. Sorry, I would name them all off, but we're not focused on that. That team beat us out, and then we did pretty poorly. That's the Warm Snails, which is Emil as well. Did pretty poorly in the qualifiers. We didn't actually win a set. The World's qualifiers, that is. But, it is what it is. And then Emil, same as Ice, except he had this Cold Llama stint, which is a little bit better. Recent performances in the SCC. Emil was on this team. I was in this for a bit as well. I mean, I'm all about this. I'm all over this video. But Emil did pretty well on the Cold Llamas. They qualified in. They finished 2nd in the first phase. They finished 3rd in the playoffs. They finished 2nd. Oh no! And then Emil, after that, stepped down, or this roster decided to make changes. Cold Llamas was no longer with Emil. They ended up having Prime in mid for a little bit, and then Hawk in mid. But yeah, that was Emil with a role swap as well, from ADC to mid for Cold Llamas. So yeah, I would say he's had the best recent form out of these guys, but if you're just looking at results, but again, none of them particularly impressive, and that's where we kind of go back to where we were with this. How will they select the teams for 2021? And you've got to look at the fact that they specifically called out top SCC and stuff like that, and I wonder if that's the reason that this old rival roster hasn't made it in. If you've got players like the guys from Belt Slap, who absolutely dominated the EU SCC, were the best team in EU by a mile. If they're looking for spots, if they've formed rosters and are looking to get into the SPL, you've got to say that maybe their recent performances and their ability to grow and maybe their form is why you might see teams like this old rival team, a team of legends, of players who have done so much in the scene, might not be able to get a spot over them just because of the recent form kind of is a black mark on their record, if you like. Yeah. How long have I been talking for? 9 minutes. That's not bad. So yeah, that's why I think I don't have any insider info on why they weren't awarded spots, by the way. I don't actually know if this is the reasoning that hires have taken. I would imagine it would be. I can't imagine you'd go for anything else. I mean, if you look at their historical results, you've got a 2-time world champion and 4 2-time worlds finalists on a team, and it'd be hard to deny them a spot on pedigree. But maybe Hi-Rez feel like bringing more new blood in, more people who are keener, who have had better results lately, would be better for the league. What do I actually think of this team? Seeing as you ask, YouTube viewer, I think this team would probably struggle towards the start, but I think they'd grow into it. I would have liked to see this team play, just because I would be super interested to see how they did. I think Wolfie remained. I think Wolfie showed last year he's still a top mid laner, and I think the other guys definitely all have the potential to make it back if they had the hunger and the drive, and if they had the right team environment. I definitely think they could make it. It took them a while to ramp up. Initially as rival, I'd say. Ice, Kalas, Deathwalker, Wolfie, and Vote was the ADC on that roster. It definitely took them a little while to get to the stage where they were. I mean, for the first sort of... I mean, they made it into... okay, this is testing my knowledge here. Summer of 2016, Cyclone GG, which is that roster at the time, qualified into the SPL. Basically didn't really win any games in the fall split. Didn't win many anyway. Did beat NRG once, I remember, which is a good time. Didn't make it to Super Regionals or anything like that, which is when I left the team and joined up with Obey. So it took them a little while to ramp up. Took them maybe 6-7 months to playing together, but eventually I think they had a great practice ethic and stuff like that. And by the time Spring Split rolled round in 2017, they were qualifying to LANs. Summer Split, they were getting to the final of LANs. I think it was DreamHack Valencia. I think they got to did they lose to Dig in the final? I think they lost to Dig in the final. And then they made Worlds final that year. So this is a team that maybe would have taken a little while to grow in again if we look at how they were before. But I definitely think they were a team that, given the time and given the, if they found their passion for the game, which I think maybe some of them lost last year, but if they found their passion for the game, I definitely think I could see them competing. Like, they're the sort of team that could just show up at a LAN and start winning as well out of nowhere, which I thought I would have really enjoyed watching this team compete. I would have liked it. I think there's some good personalities for the scene there as well, but not to be, I suppose. I hope. I would love to see them even just compete in the EU SCC if they want to stay together. Also, I guess worth noting, just because this team has not been accepted into the SPL, I think you could submit rosters. Players could be on multiple rosters, basically. So I think some of these players could have made it. I think I've seen Deathwalker on stream at least basically said he's not SPL. He's not been accepted. I think Wolfie said the same thing, but I'm not sure. But we haven't heard anything from Kalas, Ice, or Emil, so hard to say with them. And maybe Alpha Jackal's made it on a different team as well. So I wouldn't despair fully if you're fans of these guys and fans of these teams. Hopefully we get to see much more of them. Yeah, that's going to be it. This has been a thing. I've been talking. I don't really make much YouTube exclusive content. Mostly I like to stream, but there's just it's a space that I feel like exists kind of in the content creation scene of Smite right now, because F-Dot used to do this kind of stuff and I thought he was really good at it. So I guess I'm trying to fill it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully I've I don't know, filled in some gaps in knowledge places and maybe given you a bit of perspective on why, you know, your favorite players, your favorite team might not necessarily make it into the SPL or might not have made it into the SPL. Any feedback, hit me up, leave it in the comments down below. All that good stuff. That's going to be it. I've been Hazer. This has been Havering, I guess. Oh, maybe. I don't know. Like, comment, subscribe. YouTube things. YouTube. Use that Prime on me. No, wait, that's Twitch. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna end this before I ramble any further. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.